Friends, in today's session, we will talk about lambda expressions. We will cover this topic in a practical manner. Okay, so we have to cover minimum 5 to 6 question on it. Okay, so first question is you have to check, you have to check, you have to check given number is even or odd by using lambda expression. Second question is you have to find the sum of all digits. Third question is you have to take one string, you have to take one string or number and print in reverse order by using lambda expression. Next question is you have to check given string or number is palindrome or not. And last question, you have to check given number is Armstrong number or not. Okay, and we cover one more. Okay, so we cover one more question, that is you have to separate vowels and consonants from given string. So we start with the first question. Okay, so we have to solve these 6 questions one by one. So we start with the first. Okay, and every question we have to use lambda expression only. Okay, okay, so we start with even odd. Okay, okay, so first check we have to check the given number is even or odd by using lambda expression. Second, we check you have to find sum of all digit. Okay, next question is you have to take one string or number and print in reverse order, print that number in a reverse order by using a lambda expression. Next, you have to check the given string and number is palindrome or not. Then you have to check the given number is Armstrong number or not. Then last question is you have to separate a vowel and consonant from the given string. So we start with the first question. Okay, okay, so we have to check the given number is even number or not. So the syntax of lambda expression is syntax of lambda expression is first you have to make one reference, so that is reference name. Then you have to use a keyword lambda. Then you have to take parameter list. And then you have to use colon. and then expression, but that expression must be single. Okay, so you have to use only one expression. So that is the syntax of lambda. Okay, and if you want to call it, so you call like this, like reference name, and you have to pass parameters here just like a function. Okay, so we already covered a function, so I think you're familiar with function. Okay, so actually it is just like a function. Okay, so first you create a lambda expression, you make one lambda expression and then call it. Okay, so we have to understand this concept in a practical manner. Okay, so don't worry. So first you make one reference by name, even and odd, even odd. So this is my reference. Then we have to use a keyword that is lambda, and we have to pass one data, and for that data we have to check the given number is even or odd. So for that we have to write one expression, and in that expression we have to use a ternary operator. Okay, so if data mod 2 equal 0, if this condition satisfied, we want to print even, as we want to print odd. Okay, okay. Now if you want to call it, so you write like this, like print, and we have to use that reference for calling and pass any of the number. Like if we pass like 123, so 123 is the odd number. If you run the program, it will print odd. If you write like 12, so it will print you even. Okay, so with the help of lambda expression we check the given number is even or odd. Okay, so it make things simple. Okay, now if we move to the second question, in which you have to take one number and you have to calculate the sum of all digit. Okay, means that if user enter any of the number, like if user enter 2, if user enter 23, okay, so their output is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, if user enter 12, so their output is 3. Okay, so we have to take one number from the user and we have to calculate the sum of all digit. Okay, so we have to write the lambda expression for it. Now, so for that, again, we have to make one reference. So name of reference is sum of all digit, sum of all digit. Then, okay, so for that, first we have to take one number from the user. So for that, we have to write num is equal to, and we have used input function here. And inside input, we have to write enter number, enter number. And we know that input function by default take data in a string format. Okay, now we have to write the lambda expression. So again we have to use that lambda keyword, and inside lambda we have to pass one data. Okay, okay, then because that data is in string format, because how we call it, we call like this, like print, then sum of all digit, and inside this we have to pass num, and we know that num is in actual string format. Okay, so that data is referred by two reference, first by num and second by data. Okay, now first we fetch one uh, character from the string. So for that we have to write like this, like for c in data. Okay, then actually that c is in string format. Okay, then we have to convert that string into integer. For that we have to use explicit typecasting. Write like this, like integer. We have to use that built-in function, that is int, and inside int we have to pass c to convert that string to integer. Okay, because if user enter 123, okay, if user enter like 123, so actually it is in string format. Actually it is in string format, not in a form of integer. Okay, so first we have to fetch one digit from that number, and because it is in string format, then with the help of int we have to convert it into integer. Now we have to perform sum operation. So for that we have to use a predefined function, that is sum, and we have to perform sum on it. Okay, now it's perfectly work. If we run the program, then enter one number, and if we enter 123, so here the output is 6. Done. Again we test, if we run the program and we enter 22, so here the output is 4. Perfectly work by using a lambda expression, and that is actually the video of lambda. It makes things easier. Now we move to the third program, in which we have to take one number or one string from the user, and we have to check that number or string is palindrome or not. Okay. Now we move to third program, in which we have to take one string and number from the user, and we have to check that number is palindrome or not. Okay, so for that, first we have to take data from the user. So for that we have to make one reference with name data is equal to, and we have to use input function for taking input from the user, and we know that that input function by default take data in a string format. Okay, and inside input we have to write enter data in string or integer format. Okay, we have to print that message to the user. Okay, done. Now we have to create a lambda expression. So for that, again we have to make one reference with name my palindrome, and then again we use a lambda keyword, and inside this we have to pass the data. Okay, then we have to check that data is in that data is palindrome or not. Okay, so for that we have to write like this, like data. Okay, so for that again we have to use a ternary operator, and we write like this, like if data equal data, and we have to use a slicing concept here, and for reverse we have to write like this, like colon colon minus 1. Okay, this is a slicing concept. Okay, and if this condition satisfy, we want to print it is palindrome, it is palindrome. Otherwise we want to print as we want to print not palindrome. Okay, and for call this expression we have to use the reference my palindrome, and inside this we have to pass the data. Okay, now we run the program, enter data in a string or integer format. If I write like this, like madam, so okay, so for getting the output we have to again use the print function here. Again we run the program. Okay, enter data in a string or integer format. Again we enter madam, and if we hit enter, it is palindrome. Again we run the program, and if we enter 1 2 1, actually it's palindrome, and sprint palindrome. And if we enter like a Rahul, and again we press enter, that is not palindrome, right? Perfectly work. So in a single line we have to check the given string or number is palindrome or not. Now we'll move to the next question, and in which we have to take one number from the user and check that number is Armstrong or not. Okay. Okay. So we have to use the same data. Okay, same data reference, and we have to remove that part. Now we have to print enter data in integer format. Okay, and user enter any integer number, and we have to check that number is Armstrong number or not. Okay. Okay, so what is actually the Armstrong number? Like 153 is the Armstrong number. So 153 is the Armstrong number. Okay, so actually it's a 3-digit number. Okay, so we have to perform a cube of every digit. Okay, so like 1 to the power 3, that is actually 1. Then we have to perform addition operation also. Then 5 to the power 3, that is actually 125. And again 3 to the power 3, that is actually 27. And if we perform the addition operation on it, so again the number is 153. Next number is 9474. 9474. So that is also a Armstrong number. So for that you have to again perform the same task. Means that you have to perform 4 times of every digit and then perform addition operation. Then that number again, that number created 9474. So this is also 9474 is also Armstrong number. Okay. So we have to write a lambda expression for it. Okay. So for that again we have to make one reference, that is my Armstrong. Then we have to again use a lambda expression, and inside lambda we have to pass the data. So our task is first we have to fetch one digit from the number, and then we have to perform a cube, or what do we say, as per the digit, as per the, like if number is a 3-digit number, so we have to perform a cube operation. If number is a 4-digit, then we have to perform a 4 times of every digit. Okay. So for that first we have to fetch one digit. Okay. So for that we have to write like this, like for c in data, and actually that data is in a string format, and that's why we have to fetch one digit from it, and then we have to convert that. Actually c is in string format here now, so we have to convert that string into integer. So for that we have to again use explicit typecasting, and for that we have to use that built-in function, that is int, and inside int we have to pass c. Okay, so by using this like int c, we have to convert that string to integer. Then we have to perform the power operation. Okay, so for that we have to use a operator star star, and again for calculating the number of digits, okay, it's 3-digit number or 4-digit number, 5-digit number, we have to use a length function, and inside length we have to again pass the data. Now it's perfectly work, and after that we have to perform addition operation also. So for that we have to use a sum function. That's perfectly fine. And after that, okay, so we want to check that number is Armstrong or not. So for that we have to check, so for that we have to write like this, like data equal, then we have to use that expression, but actually that expressions will return data in an integer format, and that data is in string format. So we have to convert that data into integer. For that again we have to use explicit typecasting. Okay, and with the help of explicit typecasting we have to convert a string to integer. Not perfectly fine. And okay, if this condition satisfy, if this condition, again we use the ternary operator here, so if this condition satisfy, we want to print Armstrong number. Okay, if this condition satisfy, we want to print, if this condition satisfy, we want to print the number is Armstrong, as we want to print no. Okay, now it's perfectly valid. We have to use again, we have to use ternary operator here. Okay, and for calling we have to write like this, like my Armstrong, and inside that we have to pass the data. Okay, now if we run the program and we enter the data like 123, and we hit enter. Okay, so for print the output we have to use a print function here, and again we run the program. Okay, again we run the program and we enter like 123, and 123 is not an Armstrong number, so no. Again we run the program, and if we enter 153, so 153 is Armstrong number, it's your Armstrong number. Again we run the program and we enter like 9474, and again we run the program. Oh sorry, again we hit enter, so output is Armstrong number. It perfectly worked. So in a single line we have to check the given number is Armstrong or not, and that is actually the beauty of lambda expression. Now move to next question, in which we have to take one string from the user and we have to separate vowels and consonants. Okay, so we move to the next program, in which we have to take one string from the user and we have to separate vowel and consonant. Okay, so okay, we have to remove that line. And now we have to take one string from the user. For that we have to use the same reference, and inside that we have to write like this, like enter uh, data in string format. Okay, and we have to check, oh sorry, we have to separate vowel and consonant from that string. Okay, so for we have to write the lambda expression. So for first we have to make one reference. So vowel and consonant. Okay, and again we have to make some empty list also. So for vowel we have to make one empty list. Then for consonant we have to make one empty list. For vowel list we have to make one more reference. Inside that we have to pass a, I, e, o, and u. And maybe a possibility if user enter in a like sentence case. So for that we have to convert it into lower form by using a lower function. That's perfectly work. Okay, actually I forgot that equal sign. Now it's good. Okay, now we have to create a lambda expression that separate vowel and consonant from the string. So for that we have to make first reference. So vow constant, vow cons. No, this is my reference, vow underscore con. And then we have to create a lambda expression. So for that we have to write lambda. Inside lambda again we pass the data, and inside it we have to write. Okay, so first we have to fetch one character. So for that we have to write like for c in data. Okay, and okay, so for c in data, then we have to check. Then we have to check. For that we have to write like this: if c in vowel list, so we want to append that character c, okay, that is referred by c in a vowel list. So for that we have to write like this, like vowel dot, that we have to use append function, and inside that list we have to append that character. And this condition not satisfy, and if this condition not satisfy, as this condition also not satisfied, so we have to append in consonant. So for that we have to write cons dot append, and inside this we have to pass c. But I think we will get some error because here we write two expression. Okay, so in first we use a ternary operator. So this is a ternary operator, and then we use a for loop. Okay, and so for that we have to use a list comprehension style here to fix this error, and we have to use that that square bracket. Now it's perfectly work, and then we have to call that function. So for that we have to write like vol consonant, and inside that we have to pass the data. And then we have to print the vowel and consonants. Vowel and consonant is, for that we have to write print vowel and then print cons. Okay, that is cons. Now we run the program, enter data in string formats. So for that we have to write MOHIT, and if we hit enter, it's separate. So O and I is a vowel, and M, H, and T is a consonant. So with the help of lambda expression, we have to separate vowels and consonants. So lambda expression will make things easier. Okay. So actually this is the beauty of lambda expression. We have more three functions like filter, map, and reduce. If you use this lambda expression with these predefined functions like map, filter, and reduce, then definitely make your task much easier. Okay, so that's all of my today's session. Thank you so much.